the ever-changing weather around the world, ever-diverse terrain and roads across the world. With Kumho Tire that has conquered all. There is no road you cannot go. Go with Kumho. Kumho Tire.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to round 2 of season 12 of the V8 Vets Split 3. Coming to you live from the Drivers' Lounge. We've got a bit of a full house tonight with Andrew Hoffman, Braden O'Loughlin, Brett Douglas, Bruce McLeod, Mark Dial, Michael Hayes, Michael Quain, Marshy and Shane Nichols. How are we, boys?
Good, mate. How are you?
Good, mate. How are you?
Very good for a Friday night, of course. And, of course, everyone would have noticed, we've also had a Logitech add-on in the lead up coming in tonight, and we'd like to make a big thank you to Logitech for jumping on board and joining Kumho Tyres as a sponsor of the league. And yeah, I think their new direct drive wheel looks quite interesting. So I'm interested to get some feedback from a few boys. I know Scotty Gamble's been playing with it for a little bit. It'll be interesting to see. Anyway, we might throw the grid up and have a bit of a look and see how everyone qualified. So we get the grid up there. So Paul Warwick, listed as a privateer, but of course we know he's one of the fishy boys. Paul Burns in Ransom Racing in second, and then third was Brett Douglas. Fourth was Steve Grumley. Fifth was Dave Worrell. Great effort from Dave there to get into fifth. Jonathan Keeley in sixth. Shane Nichols was seventh. Freddie Taylor was eighth. Sean Slater was ninth. Lucas Burt was in 10th. Myself was in 11th. Braden O'Loughlin in 12th. And we'll keep rolling through the field here. Michael Hayes from Scorpion Esports was 13th. Lawrence Sanders, 14th. Jeff Eddy was 15th. Andrew Johnston was 16th. 17th was Joseph Granshaw. Old Mate and Sons, Daniel Sheriff was in 18th. Greg Sholton was 19th. Carl Pickering in 20th. Mick Rush from Scorpion Esports in 21st. Phil Marsh in 22nd. Anita Buckland was 23rd. So that is our grid. So how did we all find qualifying this week?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
Oh, it's great.
Normal?
I just pulled something out of my arse.
Oh, look, he's popped in the room. How are you, Mr. Worrell?
Yeah, hello, my favourite party people.
Evening all.
And we might jump straight in, boys, and get straight into the action and see how we go here. So I will hit the play button.
Dave, I reckon you're good for a couple of freebie positions every time you do that in a race, because I just about wet myself driving off the track.
Right, Paul Warwick, did just jump to start?
You gave me your weakness. Yeah, too late. It's gone.
Yeah. It was unfortunate for Paul.
Yeah, I was sitting there on behind him. And he just sort of jumped.
Yeah. Once you've done it, it's too late.
As soon as the car moved, I thought, oh no, he's in trouble.
Yeah, we've all done it.
All right, of course, going through wide, back through there.
Not going to get through there without me.
Yeah, I was quite surprised. I was expecting a turn one incident or a bus stop incident.
Don't do that sort of stuff in split 3, mate.
No, that's just...
He says to the man with 2 sheets of paper in front of him.
Yeah, the odds of death are pretty high, particularly with cold tyres, understeer, people not wanting to lift. It's sort of a recipe for it, really.
Oh, especially this track too, because that apex into that first corner closes in.
Setup had more understeer in it last night than I've ever experienced in any car.
Good
10
evening.
years I've been on iRacing.
And we've got to behave ourselves, boys. Race controls in the house. How are you, Mr. Veacock? Yeah, good, mate. Just jump a little bit further back here so the rest of the boys are travelling through.
Jumped in through the start of the race, and we saw Mr. Warwick have a bit of a fumble off the line.
Just a little one.
Just a minor.
A little tap there on Brett Taylor into the wall. Lucas continues on. And Paul is gone.
Yeah, well, right about there, I'm dead.
Where's Brett? Brett's going backwards. So how'd you blow your engine?
Apparently Netco put me in the wall.
Ouch. That is not good.
I limped back, saved the safety car, and didn't have to tow. Anyway.
And SDK is doing some funny things for me here as well, but at the moment Paul Byrne is in the lead. The safety car is nowhere to be seen. Anyway, we'll go back to up front. Paul, bit of a battle with Shane and Sean. Worrell in front of these boys, sitting in third, in second, looking like he knows what he's doing. Big shout out Steve Murray, he took me with him as well. Big shout out Scotty Gamble as well, on the chat, watching.
So how come we didn't see why John Van Ree is down 9 places?
Because I was collected by Brett Taylor in that incident in turn 1.
Oh, that was you who caught up there.
Yeah.
That's a bugger.
Yeah, got a little bit caught up. There's Brent.
It's just half the field is WK&P cars, so it's hard to tell them apart.
It's only 2 of us in this one. It's split 2s where we've got a reasonable representation. I don't know why it's all coming up with checkered flags, because they're not finished. SDK is having a lot of fun, but anyway.
Hoping you haven't flicked over to my car because you know something's coming.
No, never.
Oh. Jeez.
Yeah.
And please hold caller.
Yeah, famous last words. Oh,
Just a rubber hit.
I didn't realise we were bump drafting.
Wow.
everything was going quite well up 6 spots until that time.
Joseph doing well here, under a bit of pressure from Andrew Johnson behind him.
So that was a lesson for me going through the bus stop. Don't look up and read chat on the live stream.
So you can only keep that to yourself because everyone will want a Gen 3 supercar with half the downforce.
He's going to try and hide and come back in with that. That's not going to play the game anyway. Hopefully it might clean itself up in a lap or 2.
Yeah, I definitely don't read chat when I'm driving. I have text-to-speech reading it all to me.
Yeah, it's an easy way to do it.
I'm normally pretty good. I normally don't look at it too much, but just happened to glance up last night and like the wrong moment. You realise 3 seconds later it was a bad move.
I must say that was a pretty rookie mistake.
You got to be very careful with the information you put in front of you. Like I tend to have a lot of it now well out of the way, so it doesn't distract you to go look at it. That'll be on lap 4.
Well, I actually had a moment in last week's Bathurst race looking at my relative. So for the 1000, I actually made my own relative that sits up at I-line, so I don't even have to look down at that anymore.
Yeah, you want it where it's easily accessible to the relative, and the other one I like to have off that I can quickly look at if I have to is a track map, which just gives you a clue if someone's called in for a tow or something. I can see with SDK, I can see where they're parked up. Speaking of that, I might turn the track map on. There we go.
I may as well be racing a 1969.
Driving by feel.
And if you can do that, Hoppy, you're actually better off, I think.
Absolutely. Might have a look for some more of the battles down the back. More Joseph's doing reasonably well. He's 0.25 behind Andrew. Andrew's gotten past there. Anita Buckley, she's up in the 19. She's up 4 spots. Under a little bit of pressure from Jonathan Keeley behind her. She drove quite well last night, I'd have to say. Improving every week, which is good to see.
Not that it really matters. Jono's surname's Kylie.
Kylie, okay, yep. Thank you very much, Brian.
All good, mate.
So many new faces in Split 3 this season. Still trying to learn everyone's names in teams. So just a reminder though, guys, if you get a chance, jump on the SDK driver app and update your details there as well. You're part of a team. I think Paul's case, I think we go to Paul Burns. I think he's got the wrong team against his name. Under a bit of pressure here, Worrell.
I like the pressure. It was good.
I think it was about this stage you told me to shut up.
Yeah, I think so. I think that might have been said once or twice. Concentrating, I can't do more than 2 things at once.
Ben Anthony asking, do we have a new Miley? Rush running up the back of Braden. So to mixed defence, apparently yesterday he got some rust dust in his eyes. So he was having a bit of vision trouble. So I can sympathise with him with that.
Yeah, I know somebody in Split 2 must have had the same problem. He's got him. It's okay, mate.
I don't know what it is, you just keep running.
I know.
Geez, Mark, it was only lap 5 and it had to come out, didn't it?
Ben Anthony's asked a question why there's no BAR drivers this season. Well, there is. Jason Fillings is in Split 1. And the other boys are trying their hand at a couple of other opportunities, putting a lot more focus on East Coast and the Dev Series. That's where the BAR boys are. And Scott Gamble heard Zippy Fly might be back next week. Not sure who Zippy Fly is, but anyway. He's got me worried.
How is everyone tonight?
Good, Scotty. How are you, mate?
Good, alright, mate.
Oh, I've missed it, bugger. Where are you, Shane? Steve Gumley's just had a bit of an incident. What was that, sorry?
That was his second one for the night.
Laurel still under a lot of pressure, and Sean Slater from in the R02 car getting involved in it now.
I think the sweat was starting to run down the forehead right
Yeah, you were starting to get a little bit nervous.
Little bit. You're alright. Should be alright. I'm good. I have experience of making Commodores really, really, really wide. exactly right.
So speaking of that, what were people's thoughts going into bus stop? Because now the race over, I can sort of say, if someone's throwing their nose up, they're definitely not going to. I'll just lift my way. We risk certain death going in here. But I actually think I managed to get once or twice, get back on the exit, get repassed again. Those lifting, let them go through and then getting a better exit.
I tried a couple of times. I think once it came off, the other times it was just, it wasn't good.
It's a pretty risky spot, isn't it?
Due to legal reasons, I'm not obligated to say.
I had a run on Paul Burns up the inside, and I thought I had a hell of a run on him. I thought I was going to clear him, and then realised like we'd almost made the triple strip. There's no way I was going to make it. I watched the replay, and he went across the front of my car by like a foot and a half. It was just, if I'd braked any later, I would have killed both of us. Just not the spot to do it.
It's one of those parts of the track where you just want to carry your line through and hope no one's going to send it.
But you know that there's always someone wants to send it there, unfortunately.
How are you?
I'm good, Scotty. How are you?
And Matty McMillan in the house as well. How are you, Matty?
Oh, Matty, my saviour.
On there, Dave.
Yeah, someone taught me a really good line through those S's, and you'd be surprised how much more speed you carry on the top.
Oh, who was that?
Oh, I don't know. He was a wise man, very wise man.
I'm just trying to work it out. Has the track been reprofiled since it was released, or did this setup just really handle up really well in the bus stop?
They did a rescan of it not long ago. About last season.
Yeah, but
Yeah, it was only 7 months ago.
So they tweaked it because I know when the new version got released, that bump was really prominent.
I didn't even really notice it last one.
Yeah, and on the V8, I don't know if that was changing set or not, but in other cars, you really got to pick one side or the other. You can't go over it.
Ooh, big dive.
That was a bit messy, wasn't it?
Or a few expletives voiced at that stage.
It looked orchestrated. Yeah, it looked like a stage.
Jono's been driving the V8 for about 2.5 weeks now.
He's doing well. He's quick.
He's just been a GT driver. He joined our team probably 3 months ago and it's just been purely GT3. And he saw all of us in veterans and just on 40, so he said, I want to get involved. And yeah, so basically started driving the V8 2 or 3 weeks ago. So he's doing bloody well.
Doing very, very well.
But it's all learning.
So Paul's cleared out here a little bit. Scotty Gamble saying the juiced cars were looking fast.
Thanks, Scotty. Hope you're well, Scott.
Like that.
Definitely fighting hard here, Dave.
Having a crack, mate.
Yeah, later, mate.
Thanks, Scotty.
Yeah, mate.
There's Scotty.
Joseph, keep well to keep it off the wall, Joseph. Jump on the lorry. Lorry's. Oh, sorry, Greg's under a bit of pressure here now. Andrew Johnson looking to make a move. I've tried the better trading paints tonight for my liveries, and one hasn't come through, and I don't know why. So I apologise, Greg, because I know last night you had a red livery on. Right on the limit.
It's not easy to hang on to a twitch through there either.
It's been good watching the likes of Greg improve and Joseph improve. Those guys are really starting to put some good laps together. We've just got to get rid of some of the smaller mistakes now, and they'll definitely start to pick up their pace.
It's funny with the green tyres going up that hill, the S. Green tyres, you can go flat out, but after a few laps in, you sort of had to work out to upshift early. So it's not
Those cars got easy going up there, and then after, I don't know, 2 laps I could go flat out.
Yeah, same.
I think you're line right, you're okay, Norman.
At this stage of the race, I had a 15-degree right, so 15-degree left wheel angle, so all the corners that going right were not very easy.
Yeah, it's never easy with a bend steering up.
Someone's got you, Warren.
Unfortunately, I'll let him go. Yeah, just give me a bit of a challenge, you know.
Yeah, he's steering up.
Oh, gee, funny we were just talking about that.
I feel better now.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
How are we?
I am absolutely agreeing. Power is in the grand final. Why we have no sound?
Never do in Discord.
Okay.
It's been a while since I've been on, mate.
It is. It is.
2 seasons.
Making a return.
Well, now you're obligated. You got to be in there every Friday.
You talk to the bride about that one.
Yeah, give me the phone and I'll sort her out for you.
I know who'll sort who out there.
Sean drove pretty well. Showed some pretty good pace there for a while.
This is my first look at this split freeze.
Means like only yesterday you were driving with them, mate.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago.
No.
And you too, Ed. Wasn't that long ago.
It was only 2 races ago.
Sean Slater's ducked into the pits. Daniel Sheriff's probably one of the big improvers in pace this week.
Actually, I was looking at the during the week. It was good to watch.
See, Lucas and I were in an official early this week, and he got me. So even Lucas isn't slow.
Lucas is quick now. qualifies really well. Just got to get some consistency over a tank, and he's starting to reduce the mistakes he makes.
And these are all steps for upcoming drivers to work on. To reduce the number of mistakes, to work on getting your lines right. That's the path to eventually becoming faster and better racing.
And I thought it was just spending more money.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna, I do have to go down that path and spend more money.
I've convinced my wife of that. Shh.
See, I don't have to do that. I don't have to answer to anyone. I'm going to tell you right now.
.22, who's that stopped? Joseph's just had a little off there.
Damage there down the left, right hand side.
Dave Worrell going toe to toe with Hazy.
Smart. Sometimes it works.
Yes. Smart move too if the other drivers realise it's time to back out too.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say that.
Yeah. You got to know when to fold them.
And that's very important there in places like the bus stop.
Keep telling
you might lose that corner, but you live to fight on for another one.
Live to fight another day. Is that proper?
Absolutely.
Well, they say another day, but I'm thinking another lap. Why waste a day?
Yeah. Yeah, because if you fight the corner, you'll end up in a coroner.
Bit wide. Pull her in.
The other thing that I do too is if I'm not going to let you have it on Thursday, I will signal loud and clear. I will move the car to the point of the show. You throw it in there, you're not going to get it. And then I'll move back. I just definitely don't move in the last minute.
A few of these guys have got a lot of pace though, so it's hard to hold them at bay.
Yeah.
And it is, you've got to take into account what tyres you're on compared to the other car, what damage. We had it interesting in our race. I come out of the pits because I went to undercut some other guys that were holding it up. I come out 8 seconds in front of Scotty Gamble. And I thought, oh, here we go, I'm going to try to be holding off first. And I actually started to open up the gap on it, which really surprised me because being on fresh tyres, but I thought being as fast as Scotty was, I thought, oh no, he'll definitely hold me or close it, but no, I actually managed to open the gap up for a couple of laps to the end. So you got to take all of these sorts of things into account, and then I had later in the race Jamie come out behind me on fresh tyres, and I just knew it wasn't worthwhile the fight because mine were very old by then.
Yeah. Well, at this point, Stephen was right up behind me, but he just never seemed to look out the side to try and go past.
Yeah, even sort of being one of the quicker guys, sometimes it's better just to sit there for a while.
100%.
And let tyres cool down and sort of work out where you want to have a crack.
You learn them and watch where they're going, and then, yeah, tyres are nice and cool and go for it. Or they stuff up.
And quite often that pressure from behind is a real thing. The old line front, you get in someone's rear vision mirrors for a couple of laps, you force an error.
100%.
At this stage, with lap 15, I was behind a pack of 4, I think, doing massive fuel saving, trying to get an extra lap. Didn't quite get there. I think it was like 0.9. So that's what I was doing. I was just like massively fuel saving at this point.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say, bro. Get the set in, cost the laps out.
Yeah, because we were close, but we never really got close, if you know what I mean. Like, we're all a couple of cars apart. We're sort of down that sort of similar pace with the old split 3 boys having the fight down the back.
Yeah, that was... It's quite funny in this season, isn't it? It's the split 3 boys doing it's good fun. I'm thinking, I'm just facing the same guys I did last season.
I was thinking that too, except I had Tim behind me. I'm like, how is he behind me?
Yeah. There's Jeremy there and Powers and yeah, just the crowd.
And Faz as well.
Yeah, Faz. I think we make up sort of 20 down, just about.
That was a little high, isn't it?
Bit wide.
Yeah. A little bit of pressure from Brett here.
It really, you had to hug, if you hug the inside of a couple of these corners there, the camber really helped you.
Yeah. Oh, I had 15-degree steering angle at this stage.
You might have mentioned that one.
Yeah.
You had camber going, but it was in your wheel, not on the track.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey John, how was your steering, mate?
Oh, great! Really turned left really well.
If it's like a fishing story, it'll be 16 degrees now.
So what I want to know is...
He started out at 5.
So, but John, if you're in, what is it, P8 with bent steering, where's your excuse when it's straight?
It's coming.
Oh.
Yeah, this is something that sparked. This is something that sparked me.
It's a car in the wall, yeah.
It's stuck. It's stuck. Oh, hang on.
It happened in split 1 too.
So Jono must have felt guilty for me doing it earlier on in the race, so he thought he'd do the exact same thing.
Yep.
I did that 4 times during practice sessions.
Couldn't get it to move.
Yeah, they've updated the track itself. They haven't updated the edges. Yeah.
I think 2 of the safety cars tonight were from cars, wedged into the barrier.
Into that barrier, yep.
Oh,
The second one was as well.
Jeff in 4th spot there, mate. Local track.
Can I just congratulate Split 3 on getting to lap 16 with their first safety car?
I think we had about 80...
27 by this point.
Yeah, 80 incidents at this stage.
I just came at the perfect time. It was right on the fuel strategy. It was like, okay, yep, we'll go in for fuel.
I was going to say, but we still had none at this stage in split 1, but let's not go there, okay?
No, I was reading the forum.
We'll leave that to we'll leave that to the feedback channel.
I'm going to mute that one now.
I've given up on that channel. It's too hard to keep up.
No, yeah. I can't read oh, that one. People were just saying lots of things that a lot of us wanted to say that we didn't want to put on paper.
Yeah.
Well, geez, if it's like that in there, then I'll be right in the war and who's wrong.
In the end, as long as everything's fair at the end of the day, that's the main thing.
We're all going to have our grievances over a season.
Yes.
How you deal with it, isn't it?
Yep.
This is where it gets a little bit interesting. So Brett goes for the bigger fuel load here.
And I sat here for an extra 40 seconds. And moved from 3rd to fucking 80th.
What happened, Mike?
Yeah, I didn't quite slow down enough.
Oh, you're joking.
Lucas going backwards there.
Put on the brake.
So I thought I'd done that, except the one thing about iRacing is the actual detection point is not where the cones are. It varies from track to track. So I think this is one with a little bit more leeway. So I think I got away with one.
It does. I found the same as well. I was sure there a couple of times. I did some practice pit entries and I thought, oh, I must have thrown it there. Nope.
You do get a bit of a buffer as well, eh? Like there's about 5k over and then you can get to like 10 metres past the cones. And if you're down by then, it lets you get away with it. But yeah, it's a bit touch and go.
Yeah, I was coming in about 3k's faster than I should have, but I instantly dropped 3k's. It works out about the same.
Didn't miss me. Didn't miss me.
Of course, big Thank you too to Brandon, who was our safety car driver last night. And Blake Warboys, he jumped into split 2 on short notice as well.
Yeah, big thank you to him. He had his hands full.
So I don't understand what was happening with our safety car from the restart point of view, because I was always in the back of the queue. Strategy. But it felt like we were almost stopping in the last corner when we should have just been... was the leader not just slowing down, letting the car go away and then just going for it early enough? Well, I don't know what was happening up the front split 2.
Yeah, you were correct there.
They were playing stupid ass games.
They're very slow around the last turn, my friend.
Because we were basically stopped at the back.
Yeah.
And if Cameron is still here, that I will be having a word with him about the race pace as the flag comes out.
Which split are we talking here?
Split 2.
I wasn't in split 2.
I know you weren't in split 2, but you're part of the series thing, and if it doesn't improve when the flag comes out, then they'll start getting penalised.
Oh, you mean? So hang on, so you're talking about until they catch the safety car?
But not yet. They weren't keeping race pace at all.
Catching the safety car or catching the field, we had that in split 1 last week at Bathurst as well. I raised it over the chat. We were on the top of the mountain, and there's some cars coming off the top of the mountain very slow. And I questioned that just to give that nudge along, because there was some advantage to be gained by the cars that were out in front.
It was atrocious in split 2 last night. It was bloody terrible.
Hey John, any chance of resetting the timing hour?
Not really, no. I know it's out of whack a little bit, showing a bloody wrong flag at the end there.
Yeah, no worries.
I think that's the only thing it's doing, is showing the finish flag.
Most of the guys...
And I'm constantly 9 seconds behind the car in front.
Most guys in split 3 were pretty...
Solve that, there we go. What was that, Ken?
Most guys following the safety car in split 3 were pretty good, keeping a good distance. I think a lot of the issue was with this track in particular is the last corner. If the lead starts to accelerate between the last 2 corners, they've got to slow down for that last right-hander anyway. Which I think tends to bunch the field up, because everyone jumps and then has to balk. I noticed a few times on the restarts that a lot of cars were understeering in the last corner and then getting a bad run down the main straight.
Yep.
Oh yeah, picking your time to accelerate. Yeah, that was the key.
How many safety cars did you guys have in split 2?
400.
So 427, is that right?
All of them. All of
So
them.
what you're saying is that the split 2 safety car driver nearly did enough laps to get classified?
Yeah.
Nudge.
Yes.
Actually,
I think he led 5 laps from memory.
Actually, and here's a suggestion. You're going to hate me for it. If we have again, like iRacing last night, froze the updates to us on short term, rather than preset that we shorten the race, we just run it to time. And if we get in the required amount of laps, well, then we're luckier then.
Yeah, look, that does work. But
yeah, because I was sort of surprised in split 1, we were finished by 10:15.
Yeah, and we went, nearly, 25 minutes over?
The only issue we have with running that is it tends to start throwing strategy out the window.
Yep.
Because if people have set times or know how much fuel they have to get to a time certain race.
Yep.
Okay, so what would potentially be a 2-stop race gets taken out and made a single stop, or some may not even have to stop.
But that's the risk if you do or don't get a safety car as well. That's what you've got to work out too. You've got to take the risk.
But regardless of whether you get a safety car or not, if your calculator is good enough, which I know my one will, it tells me exactly how much fuel I have per time.
Yep.
So if I do one single stop, and then I know, cool, time certain race, I get 1 stop to the end. It takes that strategy out. Because if that makes sense, and it just makes it a straight up sprint race.
Yep.
So we have had look at multiple different angles, multiple different ways to do this. But the only thing is to keep it interesting and get multiple pit stops and getting that strategy really playing in hand is to bring the time forward. I know it's unfortunate, and hopefully we don't have too many times this year happening. I know Luke and myself are both
safety car's clearing out.
Let's watch the restart.
And
goes.
I think everyone got through there quite cleanly.
I was going to say, that's not a restart, it's way too clean.
It's not R02.
I still reckon that turn one's the hardest corner on the track. To
Turn one,
right,
to be consistent and get it right, it's a nightmare.
I used to think it was, but yeah, with a lot of work, I've now worked it out. It comes down to your release technique on the brake.
Yeah. Oh, we can chat later and you can impart some wisdom on me then.
I have a pretty good release technique if you want to see it.
Yeah, I've heard about that. I think I might pass next. Wife might get
or you can just impart it now if you like.
On the spot.
I still reckon your lap of Bath is the funniest thing I've heard.
Oh, it was gold. It was gold.
That was very good. That was very good.
That was time. That was time.
It's the Australian launch life. Get it right.
Bathurst ring.
I was gonna, when we were going down Conrad, I was gonna say I blew a Conrad once, but nah, I thought I'd be good.
Oh, the one that got me was when you said you like going deep into corners or something, and I'm like, oh dear.
Edible. I went deep into an edible once.
I go nice and deep.
Is it just me, or does the strategy windows feel like they've tightened this season? It feels like we don't have as wide a window with our strategy as we did last season.
I probably agree with that.
Because we've had to shorten the first two, maybe.
That's what I was wondering.
Like last night, you still, like this is still a track that's hard on tyres, so you still got to weigh up tyres versus fuel.
Yeah, look, I can probably weigh in the middle with that. That will be changing, but as someone mentioned, the first two rounds we've had to change the timings because of iRacing's hot fixes. Once we get into the straps of things and things start to settle, those sort of events will start to really play into the hands of people who do the time and do the effort to make a strategy up. It's just been the first couple of rounds we've had to really put a damper on it.
There'll be another hot fix next week.
Oh, yeah. Don't tell me that, because Luke and I have already put our hair out a couple of times trying to I get a message from Luke saying iRacing maintenance, and it's like, oh no.
There'll be a hot fix to fix the hot fix.
Yeah. So what's interesting is that the Lambo was 46 meg download with only back end changes. So there's so much going on in the back end at the moment. It's ridiculous, I think.
The changes to the V8s this time were, I know that they had changed the fixed setups for all the races to actually give different ratios for different tracks. Because I believe when it first came out, all the V8s ran the same ratio, not the 960 ratio. Every track didn't matter what it was.
Yep. Yeah, it was a complaint that came out in the initial release.
Have they fixed the fact that if you're missing a boot and a rear wing, that you're not actually faster than everyone?
Nope.
Let's drag.
I was actually going to run a coast down test to see what that does to the actual aero package. I just haven't had time to get around to it. And run it in basic and see what it is.
I'd probably say, from the rumours going around, they've scanned the Gen 3 car already, and I'd say that'd be where their development focus would be. rather than tweaking this model.
Yeah, I'd say 100% as well. And I think the real tell is the fact that the wipers don't work on this car yet, but they're starting to work on all the others. That
Right.
just tells you that my gut feel is that we will see Rain and the Gen 3 in the same release, is what I'm guessing.
Merry Christmas from the people I've been speaking to.
That's what I'm thinking. It just
No,
makes sense.
not for the Gen 3, but for Rain.
Yeah, that's what I'm guessing as well. So it's funny, when I was doing Bathurst, as I said to my guys, I said, enjoy it the last time in this car and without rain. So Bathurst 1000 with rain is just going to be freaking amazing. Really bad, or good, depending on your point of view.
Well, I'm not sure whether you guys have actually noticed, I've had the wiper come across in the ZB. I've had it come across me in the ZB, and I've had it come across me in the LMP2.
Oh, so it did come across the Commodore?
And it has come across, yes. I've been driving along, and next thing you know, the wiper just starts going, and you're like,
Because what you can do, if you set, there's an option in settings, if you set it to automatically wipe or tear off, so there is an automatic wipe setting. I've got it set, but it hasn't actually done it in the Mustang. It doesn't work in the new AMG either, but it works in the Ferrari. So people were actually mapping it in the Ferrari for Spa 24.
Or Anita.
Oh look, it's a hatchback Commodore.
Yep.
It definitely, the wiper is definitely there for the ZB and for the LMP2 car.
So it looks like the Mustang's getting updated, but the Holden isn't. Have fun, boys, with Gen 3 with the same car.
It scares the crap out of you when it happens.
Yeah, it hadn't been the 992.
It is really going to be interesting to see how well they do the rain. It's
there you go. Dave Coleman's telling me that it's negative on the Gen 3 being scanned. Oh yeah, there you go. It's still 18 to 24 months off. They found it out from the supercars at Sandown last round. Of course, Fishy Boys, they were down at Sandown in force. It was good to see the boys all out there on their social media and stuff.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. The only reason why I say that is because if there's a contract with supercars to run E-Series, they're going to have to run the current cars in an E-Series.
Oh, Andrew.
So,
I did well. I know they lost it.
Ouch.
It's Brett Douglas. Who else got taken to this? Ooh.
That was the end of my night.
Ouch.
Ouch.
I'd already used my fast repair when Steve hit me at the start of the race, and my car was toast. It was just a really messy one, that one.
Yeah. Almost thought he was okay there.
I had nowhere to go from where I was sitting, but
yeah,
I have a difference of opinion, I guess.
No, is what it is.
Big thanks to Dave Coleman too. Dave Coleman was RC in Split 2 last night with Blake. Learning this year from my own adventures that being involved in race control is not an easy experience. So I greatly appreciate it. Bit of brake locking up going by the boys there.
We just missed someone almost launching it.
Yes, we did.
Who was that?
I've got no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, Braden, it was you. I was just thinking before, we missed your accidental brilliant pass on me earlier.
I'm
not familiar with that layout.
I just realised I had Dave in the chat, and I thought I better show Paul. Seems he's our lone fishy car in Split 3.
I thought I'd better apologise to Brett and the race when I was coming down the chute, and I thought I'm going to plough into the back of the two cars in front of me, so I went hard left, pulled it up in time, and passed up the inside. And Brett was going, "That was an awesome pass," and I was taking evasive action.
Well, I thought it was just a great pass. They checked up in front of me, and I thought you just took advantage of it. I thought, brilliant move, good on you.
I thought I'd better check in on you and make sure you're all right, and there hadn't been any deposits made in the seat.
Oh, that was nasty.
That was nasty right at the time the safety car came out.
Yeah.
Now it's starting to look like Split 2.
I was just thinking that.
So, of course, Andrew Johnson stopped. I've lost his name. Where are you, Andrew? Andrew Johnson stopped on track. And, of course...
Right, guys, I'm going to have to jump ship.
No worries, Mark. So, of course, at this
Yes,
stage,
Mark.
I'd done my sums and worked out that with the safety car, if I ducked in the pits now, I'd get home. Maybe a little bit of fuel saving, maybe not.
It was, I think, touch and go, I think.
Mm. As I think Paul came in, Shane came in, Worrell came in, Taylor came in, Eddie, Lachlan, Sholton as well. Brett limping in there with half a car.
Mate, my motor was gone, but I don't know how it made it up into the pit stall because there was no motor. There was nothing running. I don't know. I just let it keep going. I didn't want to stop anywhere.
Back then the hybrid.
I think it was. I'm pretty sure it was the electric motor.
Starter motor and starter motor.
Yep, pretty much. I got no idea. I just went with it.
This safety car really adjusted everything. I said not everybody pitted. So Paul, Steve stayed out.
Yeah, iRacing should really model driving them on the starter motor to get them back. That's what they should model.
Well, I showed him how to do it last night.
And let's see if the interval timing's fixed up.
Brett was probably going down pit lane with his hand out the driver's window flapping.
No, both hands were flapping because I was banging the steering wheel and screaming like a banshee at that point. So it was all over.
Oh, we might take advantage of the safety car to throw in a very quick ad while the boys get all organised. Hang on. Just 1 second. There's Patterson. Must be next lap. Yep, we'll throw in a quick advert.
The ever-changing weather around the world. Ever-diverse terrain and roads across the world. With Kumho Tire that has conquered all. There is no road you cannot go. Go with Kumho. Kumho Tire.
And of course, big thank you to the boys at Kumho Tyres for supporting the V8 vets this season. Very much greatly appreciated.
Someone's missing half a car.
I think that was Braden, I think. Or Braden or Kylie.
I think that was Jono.
Yeah, it's Jono. Driving the compact.
It's going for a bit of,
look at it. Oh,
weight reduction.
Went into stealth mode there for a minute.
I'm sure you'd get black flagged in a normal race with a car like that.
Well, NASCAR races like that, why not?
Well, there's no more bits to fall off.
No.
Yeah, kudos to him as well for carrying on.
Sponsors contacted me this morning and asked if they got a price reduction on the on what they're paying. There's nothing left on the card to advertise.
He's gone again. Hazy, Grenshaw, and Nichols into the pits this time.
There's always underneath. You could always do the Morris version, put it all upside down.
Yeah.
Let's jump into Barney view. A bit of action in pit lane.
Did everyone get their head around the closed pit, John?
No.
Yeah, I did.
Cam at the start said that he'd tell us when it was open again, but it appeared that it was sort of open once the trail went through, which made sense, but he said at the start that he'd tell us when it was open again.
He's supposed to tell you when it opens.
Yeah, when the last car goes over the line.
Yeah.
But because it was so busy, he was missing it a bit.
Yeah.
I didn't sit there for long, maybe 3 or 4 seconds.
In theory, you should be able to catch the like. It shouldn't matter much once the field passes, but hey,
It's
we
more,
had
Be confused on what we were meant to do or not meant to do.
We had
More the
light.
issue if somebody went down pit lane and went past you at pit lane and took a position and you were sitting there waiting.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I think Bruce asked the question because they released someone and he released into the middle of the line.
Okay.
Yeah, it shouldn't be
Yeah.
released in the middle of the line.
I knew the answer when I asked that question. I just thought that was the politest way to bring it up.
And he was nice about it. One day he said, "Oh, my bad. I'll just drop off to the back of the line." And he
That's
did.
the best thing when you get released out of pits into the middle of the line, then you ask for a wave around.
One bloke asked for two, and he got told, "No, you've already had one."
You don't ask, you won't receive.
So
All I'll say is that I know certain people haven't read the rules coming into the season.
Well,
You only read the rules when you need to.
Yeah, well, it's pretty easy when you're part of writing the ops manual for the Pro Series, and they're basically the same rules.
but I mean, it's fairly straightforward. But it's amazing how many people, even in our split, ask the question, "Where can we go? What are we supposed to do?"
Yeah. So I'll just say it. I've had a definite strategic advantage in the last two races because I know what I can do, what I can't do, and some people are going, "Can I pit? Can I not pit? Is it closed? Is it open?"
Now, we'd lost the safety car at this stage, so Paul is now the safety car.
Yeah, what was going on with that?
The McMillans have got some internet issues going on, and Brandon's dropped out again.
Yeah, right. I thought it was a bit strange. Paul sounded a bit bewildered when he was asked to be the safety car.
So did it crash into another corner we have to rename, or just vanish off the face of the,
just
the
finished.
virtual globe?
Just finished.
Went into a parallel universe just all on its own.
It got beamed up.
It was a bit like our last race last season. Bruce.
Yes, I remember that one.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
can I tow? Can I not tow? Where's the... Oops. All right.
Yeah, the old Phantom. We had the Phantom one.
So does the pace car reappear at sunset, or
Nah.
about
Nah.
Bathurst? Where does it reappear?
Next time the safety car comes out.
I think it's hanging off Uranus.
Boom, boom.
Aren't you lucky Gunter's left?
I was about to say it.
What's your new name, guy?
Deep in the ring with Gunter.
Rumour had it Gunter took the car and went off to the ring with it.
A good trivia question there. How many moons does Uranus have?
No idea. And I think we got one more to go here.
I was actually surprised we went that extra lap. I think there was one car, I think back in P20 or something, was about 2 corners behind, so I think we waited the extra lap for them.
So have the WK&P liveries been updated for this season, or are you guys still rocking the same paint as last season?
No, there's been a minor update. We're now running the Eagle Kart system, so EKS. So Wodonga Karts and Parts are now selling the EKS brand of karts, which is an orange branding instead of the green branding of what LGK's been. So we've put a fair tinge. Might as well jump to the car. Put a fair tinge of orange on the car now as well. It's running the EKS livery, and also running the Italia Fresno karting brakes on there as well.
And Hoffy, you're running a red variant now, aren't you? Now you've changed teams.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah, Hoffy's running the super cheap version of the livery, which has the. But for Hoffy, we put the spec map on it, so it looks more like his own car.
I was going to say I do like the red. It's nice. Not that I don't like the green, but I do like the red.
I said to John, early on, I don't like green. Green's never been lucky. The red has.
Makes you faster, Hoffy.
Yeah, so my mates in Twitch, they definitely know to look out for the green cars. It's like, oh, Bruce, you're around green cars again. They'll be going off in front of you shortly. So make of that what you will. It's my chat says, not me.
They split 2 boys. I don't know.
And here I am just carrying the flag and split 1. You can't miss it.
I I did point out it wasn't the same boys.
Stephen Murray saying red goes faster.
Usually it's the green cars that get taken out by someone.
Love
No.
your word, Stephen.
No, I like your car red, Hoffy, because I can spot you a mile away now, so it's good.
So, of course, at this stage, I've got, I'm probably not going to see it, I've got Paul in front of me, and Paul's doing the old engine off the yellow light flashing, which is freaking the hell out of me. I'm doing the old mega clutching. Try and save some fuel.
I never knew that was the thing. So if your engine, you turn your engine off, it flashes yellow at the back. Okay,
Yeah.
interesting.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, but you've got to be pretty confident that your buttons are right and you're going to turn the bloody thing on and off. I've seen a few people come unstuck with it though.
Because I know the LMPs had to start doing that when they introduced clutch coasting damage to stop people fuel saving. Then people started just turning engines off to do fuel saving. I didn't realise the V8s did a nice little flashy flash out the back though.
I actually tried to avoid that because there's other sims that if you turn the engine off, you can't restart it till you're stopped. So it's something I try not to do for that reason, in case I get confused on which one I'm in.
Just remember, I'm a left foot braker, so I've been left footing the clutch pedal.
Is okay?
And I get
Is
down.
there a reason why we need to know that?
Yep. Because I get to about here, put my foot on the brake, and go, oh fuck. Don't know how I pulled it up. Sean Slater's spun there as well.
Gee, the clutch was funny.
That clutch feels very soft.
What the hell? The brake's gone straight to the bottom.
I don't trust myself saving with the clutch because I've spun that man.
Scotty Gamble's just said, sorry Bruce, Scotty Gamble's just said he's got the pit limiter on, not turning the engine off. Thanks Scotty for
So is that what that was? Okay, interesting. So no, what I was just going to say was twice or three times in the Mazda I've spun doing the clutch release when I'm doing fuel saving, so I don't trust myself to clutch and release smoothly.
Very racy there, John.
Yep.
Very racy.
Elbows out.
Oh.
God, I'm glad I was one car further up.
Minding his own business.
That corner was really, really bad for a few people last night, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, so I probably unstabled Carl with a little bit of a elbows out move, but
I was going to say that started back with you and him back at the entry to the corner, yeah.
Because it's normally the corner going, this one here, right, going back up into the short loop. That's the normal one that gets people.
Yeah.
On the spinning gear.
Yeah, when they bury it in the fence, yeah.
Yeah.
Get a little excited on the old accelerator. Or like grab some curb on the way around. That'll spin you around for sure.
Yeah, it feels like you're waiting forever as you're just waiting for it to come around. Come on. Okay, then you slowly put the power down. It feels like it's waiting for the next postcode, basically.
Steve, I spoke to Blake about that one. Blake had a look at it and he said I was all right. I got told off for being too gutsy. If anything from Blake.
Yeah, that's an interesting paint scheme, that one, doesn't it? Bit Technicolor.
And what are we up to? Got those ones out of the way.
Yeah, it kind of looks like it's been sitting in the railway yards there in Coburg.
No, I was sort of thinking, wasn't that what we used to do with the Play-Doh as kids? You put all the colours together.
Yeah,
I don't remember, it was too long
Look
ago.
at my 5 colours. They too have played it. Look at all this brown I have.
You get six pots for Christmas, and by Boxing Day you had one pot.
Yeah, great. We didn't have Play-Doh. We had plasticine, maybe.
That too. Used to eat it. That's probably what happened to us.
Yeah, it was
Well, luxury. I had mud. I had go outside.
But it was grey after the second day, I remember that. It had sticks in it, sand in it.
All I'm going to say, Steve, in the chat, mate, I'm saving the best for last. And Greg been quite racy here, doing well to hang on with Shane. Hazy putting a bit of pressure on him from behind. Another one. Another one stuck in the fence. So another.
Fix that.
Yeah, I know. Another safety car. So of course, the lap 24.
I know.
pit stop.
Hang on, just one pause for a second. I know we say they've got to fix it, but have actually logged it as a bug and yelled at them every week, every time it happened?
Yeah, fair question.
Probably should. You probably. Because I know in all the software development testing I've done over the many, many years, I don't just magically fix things that people haven't told me about.
Mm.
You can't fix something you don't know is broken.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm just thinking what an awesome run you've had, Braden.
Thanks, man.
Like such an action-packed race, and look where you are.
The safety cars definitely played into my favour.
Yeah, no, well done, man.
Shane Patterson doing really well.
So, John, can you just throw the gaps up on the timing tower so we can just see?
They're not working properly. That's the problem I've got.
Okay, that's a no. It's SDK. I understand.
Yeah. So you got some.
It's not like it's the most. It's not like it's the most expensive. Okay.
Yeah,
so
all the ones that have finished start changing their times. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's pretty tight at the front, which is what I wanted to see.
Well, we're still under safety car. Yeah, it's tight at the front. We're under safety car at the moment anyway, I believe. Or we're not. Or I thought we were. There is a safety car. I think we're racing too. Oh, no, there he is.
Oh, there he is.
There he is.
There he is. There he was. Oh, no, he's trying to match the flashing light. That's what he's trying to do.
The McMillan special.
He's
on track, off track, on track, off track, on track.
It's as it's changing between different dimensions.
Yeah.
And of course, for all those that stopped on lap 24, this was like, thank you. Fuel strategies don't have to save anymore. Just in the chat, Steve, yeah, the yellow might not have been thrown at that stage when I put the flashing up, so.
I think later on in the race I heard from a couple of guys that they still had fuel trouble at the end, so it must have been tight on that window.
There's nothing more annoying than a late safety car if you've got your fuel strategy right and you've got, you know, a good chunk in hand and other people haven't, and then all of a sudden they just get brought back to where you are.
Yeah, that happened to me.
Happened to me as well.
Yeah. Because if you notice, we sort of paced with each other the whole race, and we come in, I don't know if you, but I come in with Hoffy, and I know Hoffy's the fuel miser. So I made it to lap 18, or lap 17, or whatever you want to call it.
Mm.
Yeah, I didn't run the longest. I ran one lap before longest, but I think I stopped like all the early safety cars. I stopped every single one of them, just topping up.
Yeah.
And I think some people had, I think I had like 12 laps on everyone, but 3 people of fuel in the tank at one point.
Were you listening to the Jamie school where he says you pit on every safety car?
Yep. Especially early on, because it just opens up options later on. Maybe not at the end, but early on, especially when I was at that stage, I was, you know, I think running 28th. So worst case, I'm dropping 5 spots in track position. So it's when you're down the back, it's a no-brainer. At the front, it becomes a much tighter call. But when you're down the back, it's just like, yeah, I'll get more. There's no.
I learned my lesson last week, big time at Bathurst. Sean Slater and I both stayed out, and just paid for it the whole race.
Bathurst last week, though.
Yeah, I did the same.
But Bathurst last week, though, lap 9 was the critical number to get home.
And see, ours come out lap 7. That's why I stayed out.
And all the guys that didn't qualify, the ones that didn't set the pre-quali lap that started down the back that pitted, came right up to the front like Paul Burns and... Yeah, we just paid for it hard. It was just a rookie mistake.
Nick Hasler.
Yeah, I'll always take the pit stop now when it's on offer.
Well, not all of us, Braden. I didn't do pre-qual. I just started down the back and I won the bloody race.
That's what happens when you're fast.
Oh, spoiler. I got lucky. Spoiler, hang on. It was last week.
Oh, don't. The Bathurst race, not this one. Let's try this one.
I'm not even in this one anymore.
Yeah, well, you did well to win it then. Yeah, well, you know, made a miraculous comeback and made up 16 laps in the last 5 laps and won it.
Yeah, dreaming. Different dimension like the safety car then.
Yeah.
Different dimension. That's where my toe button is now, in a different dimension.
Was it possible to do the distance just with the one fill, one pit stop?
No.
No.
Okay.
Not on the reduced tankage.
Yeah, by it. Oh, no, it'll be a spoiler.
Right. Okay. Yeah. No worries. Because I swear I was on the first one and I'm thinking, oh, geez, it's got to be touch and go here. Because we had that many safety cars.
Just while we run around on this one, boys, we might just throw to another ad.
I'll need to watch it on the broadcast, but all I'll say is that Mr. Hoffman was on a different strategy and a different planet than the rest of us. That's all I'll say.
All right, I'll just quickly throw to an ad, boys.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. He might have had, but he's been cut out the ad.
Of course, big thank you to the boys at Logitech as well for jumping on board this season, and our best and fairest driver for the league will be the recipient of their new direct drive. So it's a great prize for the league.
That's amazing. So very big thanks to Logitech for that, providing that prize to the league. It's just amazing to be able to have that sort of thing on offer.
Oh, absolutely.
Looks like a fair wheel too, just quietly.
Oh,
Well, I was just thinking, like, it's not something I would consider now, but back when I was, my son has my Logitech now. I think most of us have had or used one, and if I was, had still had the Logitech and was looking for the next step, I think that would definitely be something I'd think about.
Well, it'd be a brand that you know, see, so.
Brand that you know, product that you know, and yeah, it would definitely be an option if and there's a lot of people that run the G29s, and they're not slow.
Well, the G25 really changed the scene of wheels when it come out. Well, the previous one, if you had one for a year and it lasted for a year, you did well. Because they'd just break. Then they brought that G25 out. It was virtually indestructible. It was.
And of course, the other thing I forgot to mention too, I think there's a deal with Soldier on as well. So at the moment, so if you purchase a wheel, and I think you can get a bit of a discount, which gets given to Soldier on as well, which is a charity that's been well supported by Logitech and a few other leagues. And Scotty Gamble is a big advocate or an ambassador for that charity as well. And Scotty Gamble, of course, was using that wheel, I believe, last season. So split one V8 Vets using the Logitech gear, so speaks very highly of it. And I think we're about to go green here. Maybe not.
Lights are, I was going to say, lights are off. The car has no lights. It's not a real lights.
That's why it flashes on and off to simulate.
Yeah. No, when I'm shooting leagues, I literally hop in the car in front so I can see what the lights are doing on the safety car sometimes.
I was going to say, it'd be real nice if iRacing could actually do a customer safety car with the lights on the roof that you could activate on and off.
So Paul doing the big swerve down the track here to break the toe, and I'm thinking to myself, you're a second lap faster than me, buddy, but you don't need to do that.
Yeah, he's pretty rapid, eh?
Oh man, he was quick, wasn't he?
Yeah. A few battles through the group.
Such a fun track.
It's a fantastic racetrack.
Amazing.
Right.
It's in my top 3 tracks.
That's why I was getting quite frustrated on Thursday night, and I thought, geez, boy, this is the easiest track to race on, and yet you can't do it.
I was so annoyed when I got tapped and I got a black flag because I was just having so much fun battling in a pack of like 8 cars or something crazy.
Yeah.
It was just nuts.
Plenty of room, the corners are, not tight and first gear sort of height. You can roll the car around and
and if you're well endowed enough, you can chuck it in and have a go. If you're
But if you're a bit conservative like I am, you can find a bit of space.
Yeah, exactly.
But you can, you can fit 3 cars wide with most of this. Right?
Yeah, most of the corners have more than one line you can take.
Yeah.
It's also the type of track where you can hold your race pace and make the car behind you actually work their tyres harder.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was amazed in practice, Hoffy, how I was very similar time, just, rotating, but how closely I was getting to my one time I had. It wasn't fluctuating a hell of a lot for such a big track. Oh.
Andrew Johnson's had an incident there.
That's parked wrong. That doesn't look right.
Oh.
You can't park there.
Pit lane?
Yep.
Well, I somehow found a second in the race compared to my previous PB. So.
Wow, that's going well.
That's impressive.
Yeah, I got
this
in the race too.
I had that practice this week. I was, I had, year 12 daughter, last day of school, etc., and work functions and stuff. So I literally had, I think, one night in practice.
But I thought you were pretty quick your time.
Oh, I'm pretty. When I'm in the zone, I'm pretty quick around here. Just I hadn't done it in the V8, so this is the one track where I've hit VRS time in a GT3 in practice. So I know when I'm dialed in, I can be quick, but it's just there's a difference between being quick in a one car and quick in the V8.
Yeah, a different beast, isn't it?
Yep.
What was your PB here then? Bro?
I think it's 46. I think. Let me have a look. Give me 2 seconds.
Hey Jeff, I didn't hear you sneak in.
Jeff, Jeff's there as well. Hey, Jeff.
Yeah, so my PB last night was a 146.8. My PB before the race was a 147.7. So I found 0.8 in the race.
Right.
He's well done.
Yeah. Some of that, I don't think that was toe either, but yeah, toe's obviously a big part of it. But it's just when you get comfortable and our nice long races let you just get lap after lap after lap in.
Yeah, it forces you to practice, doesn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, I think I was just a mid 46 PB.
Because I think we were pretty similar on pace, actually, for most of the race. We weren't necessarily together for the whole race, but I think we were pretty similar.
Yeah. Well, I think we had a similar strategy in mind too.
I don't know I don't know if you guys are the same, but I noticed with maybe more so 6 months ago when I was newer to iRacing that my race times would invariably be faster than my practice times, and I think you just actually you concentrate and you drive harder and faster chasing somebody in front of you during a race, and I just found that a lot of my times were quicker during a race than practice.
Yeah.
I'd agree with that.
And sometimes when you're following a quicker guy, you sort of mimic his lines, and he's braking, like you.
Yep.
And he actually, he's coaching you along the way. Funny enough.
I think it depends. I definitely have a race mode where I go slower. Like, I think I qualified with a 209 at 206 at Bathurst for the 1000, but my race pace I didn't get below 207 in the race. So I think I tend to definitely, and I can fall off and crash all over the place in practice. Then race comes on, I'm just like 0xing. So that I definitely, to be honest, I think I'm a bit more conservative in race mode than practice mode.
It's
But I
probably
think
for
you're
a
right.
bit of a Bathurst, though, isn't it?
But I think you're right, though. I think you're right that in regards to race pace, if you're actually racing hard and you are behind someone, you do go faster. I think there's no question about that because you just are pushing than just doing lap after lap.
Yeah, and it might not be a faster average lap speed, but a fastest peak lap speed on your PB. You might set that fast lap when you're trying to chase down a podium or something, but once you get there, you might ease back off again. So.
And the other thing too is you're not thinking about it. You're getting in the flow, and you're trying to be smooth, and you don't realise that when you've been smooth, you've been faster.
Yeah, spot on.
Yeah, you're not driving poly laps every lap.
The other thing too is normally I race with my Delta on. Last night I didn't have it on. I don't think I'll put it on again, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't race with the Delta on.
Yeah, I don't have any of that stuff either.
Yeah.
Nah.
All I've got is my relative. That's the only thing I can see, my relative. That's it.
Yep.
Oh, God, I have I'm a computer guy, right? So I have everything. I have fuel strategy. I have number of stops. I have pit window. I have refuel windows. What else have I got? Track temp, number of X's. I have tons of stuff. But I'm turning more and more of it off and having it come up when I need it.
I used to, but I found I prefer to do GT long distance racing, which is interesting what you said before too, Bruce, because if you do a lot of GT3 long distance racing, your race pace tends to drop off slightly because you're trying to conserve the car and save it for your teammate. It's a bit of a race trend, but I run in VR, so I can't see anything anyway.
Yeah.
You've got nice teammates, Brett.
I don't have it. I don't have any teammates anymore.
Jeez, my teammate just drives the arsehole and hands it over.
Yeah, it's not
good.
good.
So I was the opposite. So my Bathurst, my goal didn't happen was just get the fast guy and get the 3.5k driver in the car at the end and let him fight. But it didn't. It's a great shot. No.
But you develop that mindset where you're conserving the car and you're trying to get it back clean.
Yep. I actually have the problem where I'm an A499 and I just don't any X in my mind is bad, and my mates on Twitch chat, they're like, okay, time to get some X's, time to use using tactical off tracks and actually try to turn one here was a classic example of you can use that tactical off track to go faster. And then I started to do it, and then my chat said, oh, you've got 4X left. I'm like, oh crap.
Yeah, I can relate to that.
Always
and then someone may have given me a tap up the rear. Which felt like a 0x, to be honest, but anyway. Sorry, Ed.
I was just saying I managed to get one on the entry to the chase about 5 times. So I must have been pushing that wall a bit close.
Yep.
Just a trick for the split three drivers that are sort of struggling with speed. And Forest Elbow is a really, really good example. But, with the V8, the driver height and everything is different from GT3 cars. And all those high downforce cars, you're actually sitting higher off the road. But with Forest Elbow, if you go through there and actually look at your speed, you'll see a huge difference on what should be done and what you're currently doing. It makes a huge difference in corner speed. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
And taking note of how fast you actually go through it, Coffee.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I don't know if other guys do, but I don't think I ever look at the speeds. Maybe the delta, but not the speed.
Okay. Yeah, see, I always had a problem with Forest Elbow. I could never get out of there. And I had a look one day and I was trying to go through there at 120 and it just wasn't working. So I just started going slower and slower and slower through it till I found it.
I was going to say, that's a very wide line through the loop there.
You come back eventually.
Actually going a little bit wide there.
Hey, John, you got a rest there, mate? did well. Did play another day.
Yep. Still going. Still
Yeah.
battling away.
You see, that's another piece of data that I have in practice sessions. I get my peak speed at the end of the straight, and I get my peak speed at every corner. And you think I look at it? Nope.
Yeah. Because I suppose the delta, but I find after a week of delta, you know, it's taking all those sectors, you know, after a week's practice and rolling it into one little perfect lap. So I don't take it 100% serious.
I was going to say, Hoffy, if you've got time to look at the speedo as you're coming through Forest Elbow, you ain't going fast enough, son.
Matching that speed of sight to your you know, current speed in the car. Just you know, when you drive a normal car, you sort of got an idea on your speed that you're traveling down the highway, and it's the same thing here. You know, that's more or less what I'm trying to say. And I don't look at the speedo anymore. Just put flat and let's go.
It's interesting because, as you know, with Forest Elbow, if you drive in too fast, it's really going to stuff your exit up.
Mm.
Yeah. Oh, that's the classic corner, which just teaches you slow in, fast out.
Yeah.
And it was last week too. I found I was dicing with somebody, and I found it much to my advantage to. I really concentrated on taking slow entry, fast out. I wasn't going slow to balk the person. I was just going slow to make sure that I got a decent exit out of the corner. It just worked for me every time.
Dave Coleman's asking Coffee whether you got one arm out the window while you're going through Forest.
Oh, beer in hand, smoking mouth, taking it easy.
Back on a blocky.
Yep.
You caught up to him at the chase there, John. I thought he's not getting away.
No, he didn't get away too quickly.
Hey, what's happened to split 3? How come John's in the podium position? What's going on? What's happened to split 3 since we left?
Long way to go.
He got a podium in the first race last season.
I went to shite from there.
And he looked a bit for race 1.
Of course, Paul's cleared out here, so better give Fishy their dues. So Paul's cleared out. He's already 7.5 seconds up the road from the rest of us.
I think it's my wheel settings I gave him that's helping him go faster here. So.
Okay, good to know. Good to know.
Yes, new wheel settings from Blanchy made a bit of a difference.
What wheels are you running?
31.
31.
And of course, Brett's got past me now anyway, so.
It's all right. We'll get you faster yet.
Yeah, Blanchy's going to look after you.
I get there. Did the old bit of a look-see. Let Brett know I'm still there. It was a good battle with Brett when you consider that, you know, it was both Brett and myself in that incident with Lucas on lap 2. And here we are fighting up the front, which was a pretty good recovery.
I won't name names because I don't want to spoil tomorrow night's telecast, but there was someone who was involved in an incident who had to do a tow back, and I noticed that, you know, 12 laps later or 15 laps later, he was back, you know, a couple of positions behind me. So recovery is definitely possible. This is just shows you these longer format races. It's definitely not about lap 1. It's about, you know, lap 45.
Sure, don't give up.
Particularly with waiver rounds, right? And safety cars. When you have 27 safety cars, there's 27 laps you can get back.
This was a really fun battle.
Yeah, I was about to say, you definitely caught up to Paul and worked hard there.
And it was definitely hard work if you're following anybody up there through the S's. If you were the car behind.
Front end definitely goes, no question.
This was the one I was talking about earlier.
Oh. Yeah. Look a bit closer than a metre and a half.
So that was like literally, if I had braked 2-3 meters later, I think I would have clipped the back of him. It was just like, had a hell run up the straight and then just realised at the last minute, no, I'm not there. But yeah, no, that was it was pretty scary.
We talked about a lot of driver awareness last race, and you showed it right there where it's amazing where a lot of guys just haven't got it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you just gotta know when it's on and when it's not on. And
yeah,
I waited too long to realise it was on, but luckily I realised in time. But yeah, I should have realised a lot sooner than that. Yeah, that's not on.
but that driver, you've got that driver awareness where it's not that clear cut with a lot of other drivers.
No, they'll just plough in, won't they?
Yeah,
They just try and send it in too deep in the corner.
Yep.
And here, 5 laps to go. Racing, for a nice points here, and
Nice move there, though, Braden.
Yeah, nice.
there you go, beautiful.
Especially if they're from Europe wearing a Red Bull livery.
So you've gone 6th now. That could have been 20th.
Yeah. I messaged Paul afterwards, and he said, yeah, he was in trouble with fuel. So that's what I mentioned earlier about a couple of guys getting the numbers wrong. So yeah, he calced wrong. It was unfortunate for him. He with the fuel issue this week and his blown motor last week.
I was about to say, he's led so many laps last week and this week, and poor bugger just can't take a trick, can he?
No.
He's got pace on him.
But that's where Split Free does come in good. It is the ground where you start to learn that racecraft. You start to learn these things, and you're only going to learn it from experience.
I hear you loud and clear. 2 seasons, I reckon, twice, everything that possibly could go wrong. I've done it twice. I jumped the start twice from pole last season. You reckon I don't put that foot? I'm looking at the brake pedal now. I've got the foot permanently stuck on the brake at starts now.
Yeah, haven't been racing for 6 hours, but my foot's still on the brake pedal.
Serious question, Ed. You use your brake pedal for starts?
Yeah, I just hold the brake, that's all.
Okay.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, if you're running anti-stall clutch, you can.
Yeah. None of us use that.
Yeah, if you have the driving aids turned off, you have to use the line locker. But yeah, I normally just have foot on the brake, 3/4 throttle, and just take my foot off the brake.
I'm too scared to put 3/4 on, but I'll put a 1/4 on.
You can use that line locker anyway.
Still use it.
Yeah, you don't have to hold your foot on the brake.
I use it, yeah, I've got it on the analog pedals on my Fenatech wheel rather than use the handbrake. And I found it's quite good to release, but I find you also need to use the throttle, the other screen in the car for the starts, which gives you your throttle position sensor.
You guys completely lost me now.
All I heard was release.
Go on.
All I heard was release. You got to get a good release.
Yes, Gunter. Release, Gunter.
Release.
Yeah,
I'm not going to say what I do because I think I have a bit of advantage. But anyway, so I think with the V8, because the rear diff changes every track, your technique has to change in line with the diff. So one way is changing your throttle percentage. There's other things you can do instead. But yeah, for me, it's because I have a dual clutch. It's all fingers on the line locker, and this whole sequence that I sort of go into. It's funny though because when I do an F3 race, I commentate on an F3 league, and I did an F3 race, and I passed like 4 of the regulars in like 3 turns. They're like, "What the?"
The secret, the key, the secret is to have a tight rear end. Nobody likes a loose rear end, okay?
Yes, Gunther.
I
think the bottom line too is starts. You just have to practice them, and it's like everything else. You have to practice them.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah. Go on, Chris.
No, I was going to say I've never learned to use the dual clutch function yet.
Right, Lucas
for
going in the pits there.
Takeoffs.
What's happened to Lucas?
Looks like fuel.
And another one that was short fueled.
Yep.
Bummer. Once you got 3 laps to go.
Yeah.
And you don't have to use dual clutches. You just got to get a technique that works for you, that you can repeat consistently.
Greg's stuck in the wall again.
Oh no!
Except this time we get the permission to tow, so no safety car.
And that's the same spot again, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's like double-sided tape on the Armco.
Yeah. So that's 3 in the one night. Yeah.
Yeah.
I look like the same spot too.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah, coming out of the boot. Yeah.
Someone's mounted a big electromagnet in behind the Armco and just sucking cars into it.
Yep.
Feels like that when you lose them.
Whoa, that was one.
That didn't work.
But it did for a millisecond.
There are many lines through turn 1 at Watkins Glen.
Actually, I don't think you got an X if you went out there either.
I think you did on that one. This one here you didn't.
This one
So as we are at this track, I'll just quickly say, have any of you raced against the gentleman whose name is Glen Watkins on the service?
Yep.
No.
Yep. Quite often. Yeah, he jumps into our chat in our stream. Yeah, I wasn't quite sure whether it was a piss take, but no, it's a genuine name.
Oh, it is genuine. I thought it was a bit of a piss take, to be honest.
No, Glen Watkins is his name. Best name in iRacing.
Lucas has come back out in front of Marshy, back in 9th.
Actually, I'm pretty sure the first race I did in here was the 6 hour in GTE. And on turn 1, you could run hellish and wide and not get a off track back then.
Yeah, they've changed it now. If you put both wheels over the ripple, now you get the off track now.
Yeah, back then, and I think it was about three or 4 seasons ago, and yeah, we were just running wide around there.
Everybody was just a procession. It was just a line out there.
Yeah.
But back then, the concrete didn't go so far down towards turn 2 either. You had the grass down there, so.
That's right.
You could run out wide there, but you had to get back onto the
Correct.
before the grass started. Yeah.
Yep.
So Paul doing really well here. He's still 5.5 seconds up the road from Brett.
I say he's pegged him back a couple.
Yeah, just a little bit. He's just managing it.
Did Paul back off, did he?
Yeah, I think so.
I think when you got that sort of gap, you do.
And so it was Shane he's got the gap from. So he's about 5.5 up the road. Shane's about 3 up the road from Brett. And start the penultimate lap.
And John, you still got paint on your roof.
Yeah. Doing better than what I did at Nordschleife. That was one of the slowest rollovers I've ever been in. So the lap boys did really well here. They sort of all managed to sort of stay out of the way.
Yeah, that was well timed there.
Yeah.
On the left.
So even though I was at T50, it definitely felt like a long way by this stage.
Yeah, it felt like a long race.
Both. I didn't want another 10. Yeah, okay. Breaking cars.
Yeah, we had our guys from the other splits, talking about their race and how it was all going. I thought, geez, we've still got 5 laps to go.
I got a good drive out of turn 1. Nice drive out of turn 2.
The slipstream, mate.
And then.
And
This
then,
is for podium.
yeah, this is for podium. This is the last lap.
Oh no!
So big
Keep
apology,
going, keep going.
big apology to Brett Taylor. I couldn't get it into first gear. I couldn't get back into gear. Wouldn't go back into gear.
Now, someone was sending a very large signal. I am going to not let you pass.
Yeah. And I didn't get it.
Nah. John's like, I'm coming anyway.
Look, it's the old Ayrton Senna. If you don't try and make the move, you're not a racer. So, and I promised myself I'd be racing this season a little bit more aggressively and racing to pass people and not just racing to survive.
No, look, I support that. Oh, nice drift. I support that. Have you heard what Senna actually said about that quote?
No, probably not the whole lot of it. I probably have it. I can't remember it all. Yeah.
He came back. He came back later and said, "I was actually in the wrong. I was deliberately made a mistake, and the reason why I said that was to save face in public in the situation that he was in regards to the championship." Or words to that effect. There's an exact quote that he said about it. And every sim racer on the planet, whenever they run into someone, they throw that quote out. But I think it was what was last lap. I think it was if there's any time you're going to do it, that was the time to do it, right?
It was the only opportunity I had. I had to have a go.
So points for trying. Bad luck he didn't get there.
So Braden managed to get home in 4th. I was 5th. Now, I'm not 100% certain. I know Paul, Shane are there. I'm not sure what happens after that because there was a few things going around. I think I had a black flag, so I got relegated down a bit more, and I think Brett might have been in the same boat, so I'm not 100% certain.
I think Brett had a incident in the last lap that put him over incident points, so he finished the race with a black flag, so he got relegated.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was curious about that because I was literally trading off because I had I think with 4 laps to go, I had a black flag and I was contemplating. And I was like, I'm not going in. I'll just take the hit because the hit will be less than doing a drive-through. But then I realised I only had 3 to go, so I figured I'd get DQ'd, so I took it anyway. So I'd be curious to know what the actual penalty is.
So after the checker I asked Cam if that was the case, like because it was showing P3, and he goes, yeah, it was a black flag on the last lap.
Absolutely. It was tough.
Solid race, lads. Solid race.
Yeah.
A lot of walking wounded at the end, though, wasn't it?
Very entertaining.
I'll admit that
This
much.
track always is. That's why NASCAR run it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, quick look at the podium. Shane, you want to say a few things, mate?
Sure. Big shout out to Kumo Tyres, Quantum Tint Solutions, Parramatta Isuzu Ute, Logitech G, A Notch Above Tile and Stone, the crew from the Bathurst Steerage and Erection Committee, big shout out. Fellas from Race Control, admins and all the drivers. I have a blast racing you guys. It's great fun. Thanks a lot, everyone.
It's great, Shane. We love having you with us, mate. It's been quite enjoyable the last 2 races. And I'm not sure where you finished, Braden, but you might want to say a few words. Jump in as well if you want.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Yeah, I think it was P3 in the end. Just thanks to everyone that organises the league. It's really awesome. It's a 2nd or 3rd season for me. Really enjoying it. Actually, really enjoying being in Split 3 as well. But thanks to all the other guys that I raced with last night, and thanks to our sponsors. So we've got Juiced Energy, All Ports Gaming, FH Creative, the Pet Door Company, and Toyosim. And thanks to all you boys for sharing tonight. It was good fun.
So, Braden, you stream on Twitch?
Yeah, I stream on Twitch.
What's your handle, buddy?
Frog Leapin'. And I stream to Facebook as well, so Frog Leap Juice Racing, so I multi-stream to both platforms.
Well, I won't hold that against you.
I'm intending to go purely to Twitch as well, but we had a few long-time viewers that were Facebook-based, so we'll be going to Twitch only, I'd say. But thanks again, everyone. It was awesome.
That's all right, mate. And big shout out to Jeff Eddy. He's in the chat as well, just letting us know it was only a 2-hour drive to get home from the track last night or yesterday morning for him. So next week, I was in the middle of doing my due diligence. So next week we are off to Zolder, which will be quite an interesting circuit for everybody. So 50 laps around there. Any thoughts on that one, guys?
Incident free.
Is that another car stuck in the fence at the same place?
Yep.
It is. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Back to Zolder though. Tight. It's a great track, but it's going to be very tight. It's going to take a lot of patience.
Yeah.
The chicane's going to be fun with 45 cars on track in Split 1, I can tell you.
Yep.
Yeah. A lot of patience, and I think there's going to be a few tears shed.
Absolutely.
They're called shit games for a reason.
I actually quite like Zolder. It's a track that I've had reasonably good runs at across multiple sims. It's it's a track I very much like.
Mm.
I like the back half. I'm not a massive fan of the front half.
And Dave Coleman in the chat's already said RC's getting ready for a busy night. So,
Yep.
have fun,
Yep,
Dave.
they should. Yeah.
Particularly
Yep.
Split 2.
It's probably one of those tracks that we don't run a lot at, so it's good to have something that's a bit different.
Steve Murray asked me a question. I have sold as 50 laps, 63. I think you're probably thinking of Winton or Long Beach. Long Beach is 64 and a 67.
Seriously, at Long Beach? Oh, that's going to hurt.
I think Zolder's only going to be 200 K's.
How many laps?
It'll be 150 because there'll be a patch.
Now, Bruce.
That's all right. I'll be missing for Long Beach anyway because that's Bathurst weekend.
Well, anyway, Zolder next week.
Yep.
Plenty of laps needed during the week, I think, just to get a bit of a flow going there.
Absolutely.
I just have to, find an excuse to miss Winton.
Actually, I'm quite happy. I'm on holidays for Winton, and I think the round after as well. I think I'm quite happy with that one.
Winton 67, yeah. Steve Mark's got that right. Yeah, the Jeff Eddy's saying he's got a 2-hour drive to Watkins, Glen. I've only got an hour drive to Winton, so yeah. Anyway, on that note, we might say goodnight, guys, and a big thank you to the 20-odd that I've had in the chat all evening watching the broadcast. I'm glad you all enjoyed it.
Hey, good night.
Yeah, big thank you to everybody, and big thank you to the guys that have jumped in the chat and been with us tonight. So that's Hoffy and Braden, Brett Douglas, Bruce McLeod, Blanchy, Gunter, Ed Cullen, Jason Fewens, Jeff Thomas, and Shane Nichols, and a few of the other boys that dropped in and out. So big thank you to you guys. It's you guys that make the lounge the success it is. So I really appreciate you boys dropping in and having a chat. So on that night.
Thanks to you, John, for running it again.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Awesome job, John.
That's right.
Yeah, cheers, John. Good night, everyone.
Yeah, good night, everyone.
Night, everyone.
See you all next week.
Night, lads.
Yeah.
Night all.
The ever-changing weather around the world. Ever-diverse terrain and roads across the world. With Kumho Tire that has conquered all. There is no road you cannot go. Go with Kumho. Kumho Tire.